So Capital Management or So Capital Group. So, yeah. I'm going to open this before we get that started in at least. So.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Coffees for Closers. Today, we are sitting down right now with Shane Seo, the founder and CEO of So Capital Management, a real estate company headquartered out of Atlanta, Georgia, and really making a wave in the real estate space. They have hundreds of millions of dollars under management and continuing to scale their business, acquiring more and more properties and dominating the space in growing in many verticals, and now adding potentially movies to the mix, backed by real estate, which is a totally new venture. We're going to dive right into it. Let's welcome Shane Seo. Thanks, James.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Today's podcast is going to be a fun one. So now, you're buying buildings, you got a podcast, and now you're starting to create content. And you're, we talked about this when I first met you, kind of an introverted guy.
Yes, I am very.
What deals are already coming in right now on the real estate side? What do you got working on?
So we're in a transition period right now. So we have about 400 single family. And, when I did a few multi, I was like, wow, I can have 59 units or 44 units kind of all in one area. But having 400 homes, that's 400 tax parcels, 400 insurance policies, 400 different, and they're kind of spread out. And there's no forced appreciation that can happen. So we're trying to bundle up some of those. So we have right now 42 to 43 houses under contract to sell, and I'm going to 1031 them and put them into more multifamily. So that's what we're sourcing out. We want to try and get in the hotel business. That's more of a business play than a real estate play, but I kind of want to try a hotel. I like to try some development eventually, and then also some single tenant, triple net lease conversion. So we'll find some older building or maybe just some land, find a good triple net lease tenant that wants it, and we'll either build it or, fix up the building that's currently there. And we tend to like those a lot too. A lot easier tenant as well.
Where are you sourcing right now your deals? Are you just finding them through your network? Are you finding them through realtors? Are you finding them through like online auctions? How are you getting?
Yeah, so we've always used, so since we're going after multifamily, I guess it depends on the type that we're looking for, but multifamily, what we do is we pull the records for the current dispossessories that are happening, the current evictions. And if you notice like the same name as the landlord, it either means they have a portfolio of single family homes or multifamily. So reach out to the landlord, and that's usually their most motivating spot. As you know, if you're in real estate and you're a landlord and you're in the middle of an eviction, especially a bunch of them, you're probably in your most motivating spot. So we tend to talk to them and try and upgrade them from landlord to banker at that point and make it completely passive, because most landlords got into real estate for passive income, and then it ends up not being as passive as they thought.
Never passive.
Yeah. So we're like, well, so we try and make it completely passive. So we'll handle all repairs, maintenance, tax, insurance, and we buy it with seller financing usually, unless it's just like a killer deal and they can't seller finance it or they want a 1031, then we'll pull out a good Fannie or Freddie Mac multifamily loan. So that's how we do multifamily. As far as commercial, we deal with a lot of brokers, and I'm very new at this. Like I said, so I'm even doing podcasts. I've done a few of them now, but like I'm new. But since I've done more personal branding, a lot of people know I'm the real estate guy in the area and that we're creative and what we're kind of buying. So it's been really good for deal flow. So that's been another way. So brokers, dispossessories for the multifamily, people just bringing us deals. And then we're always sourcing some stuff. Or if we're driving by a property and we see one that we like, we just make it happen. So I like that property. I like the area where it's at. And we'll just try and reach out to the sellers just to make a relationship. Talk to them. They may not want to sell now, but at least we're always first in mind later on. So because we play the long game. So that's kind of how we're sourcing right now. Kind of basic and easy.
You said something now that really resonated with me, which is, you started doing some personal branding. And for someone like yourself, already established in real estate, already have a big portfolio of business, and now you're like pivoting. I'm going to build my personal brand. What was the catalyst for you to start to think about building your personal brand? What really inspired that for you?
So it took me 5 years to even get my first deal in real estate. And I was 25 years old when this guy had slick back hair, kind of like you. Like he had this real nice hair. Him and his wife had matching Cadillacs. And I could just tell he had a lot of money. Just like I looked at him, I was like, okay, he's doing well for himself. I said, what do you do? And he said, boy, you should take me to lunch. So I took him to lunch and he said, real estate. But then he ghosted me after that. So for 5 years, I got 33 properties under contract and canceled them all, never closed them or anything because I didn't have any knowledge, no mentor, not enough education. I honestly wasn't in the right, I guess, groups at that time. So, but once I finally got my first property, it snowballed so quickly. And I looked back about a year and a half ago, it was January, no, 24, no, it was January 2023. I'm sorry. So it's been a little bit longer that I said, I'm going to really lean into finding out how to make what I do quicker. Because if I would have started 5 years prior to doing real estate at that time, where would I be? So I reached out and I said, I'm going to go to the best mentor I can think of right now. And I was watching a lot of YouTube. So I paid $100,000, talked to Grant Cardone. I had 4 hours with him. I've only used 2 of those 4. And the first time that I talked to him, he answered all my questions, made 1 phone call. It made me $888,000 3 months later. And I said, that's why I should have done it. So on the second time I saw Grant, I said, Grant, what should I do? Thank you for the real estate, but what should I do? Should I do events? What should I start doing? And he says, you need to get in personal branding. So then I reached out to Ty Lopez. I paid his mentorship, and both Grant and Ty kept saying, do personal brand. And I'm an extremely introverted person, if I'm at an event, I'm always in the back shadows if I can. So it took a little bit of time, and I did drag my feet a little bit, probably a couple more months. And then in January 2024, I said, all right, well, let's try and do this personal branding stuff. I did my first podcasts, and we started doing workshops where I'd stand up front and start teaching people. And then we started doing, I don't even know what you call it, but when you're talking to the camera, just teaching something, I started doing a few of those. And then slow but surely it's growing. I'm still doing a lot to try and catch up to you guys, but that's what got me
I started personal branding January 2024 as well.
Oh, well, you're killing it. You're doing a great job.
But I went all in. I started doing crazy content, antics, podcasting. I just released a book, I went all in on personal branding.
Well, you got to coach me because right now I'm just doing the basics.
Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone, those are the biggest names you can go to.
Oh yeah, but they're busy. They can't sit there and say, hey, make a whole plan all the time for them. I'm actually scheduled to see Grant again in the next month or two just to ask him. But I haven't been making funny videos, that capture and keep. Mine's more nerdy. Just, hey, here's this. I'm teaching or podcast, but I need to do some creative videos. What would you say if I do real estate and I'm doing it for deal flow and I love nerding out? What are 3 things that you think I should do when I get back to Atlanta?
I mean, I think you do have to do more relatable content that actually resonates with people. Something along the lines of just making people laugh, and adding the flair of, where they know it's associated with real estate.
That makes sense.
That's just some sort of, relatable real estate comedy. I do some relatable comedy when it comes to real estate. This is what $1 million gets you in California. And I'll walk into a bathroom, like
a shack.
No, like a porta potty.
Oh,
here's $1 million house now in California. So I'm like, but it's it's funny, but it's it's just things that make people laugh associated with real estate. There's just millions of jokes. That's just one example. And you don't know, I don't know how much short content you're putting out right now.
We're trying to do 30 a month and then hopefully get to where we can do 3 or 4 a day is what I've heard is the sweet spot.
And post a lot. I don't know how many platforms you're on, but I'm on every platform. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, what's it called? The blue one, Blue Sky.
I've never even heard of Blue Sky.
And then I'm on Reddit. I'm on Amazon. I'm on, Spotify, Apple, iTunes. So I try to be on everything, and then I'm on all the blog platforms. So, I try to get on every single platform so that I can just get as much exposure as possible.
Okay, I'm writing down these. Yeah, I'm on all of them, but that you said in the earlier parts, except for Snapchat, I have it, but I haven't been doing it, but I need to do it.
Yeah. Snapchat's actually a very untapped market. There's not a lot of big influence. I met with some of their C-level. I'm be going to Snapchat school. I'm actually represented by Snapchat.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So, so it's just an untapped market.
And what made you get into doing personal brand?
I just wanted a differentiator from my competitors. My competitors, none of them started building their brand, and I just wanted to build my brand.
And you see a big difference that it's helped with all the businesses that you do as well?
Yeah, it's helped deal flow. It's helped recruiting. It's just it's made me relatable. It's allowed me to get on stages. It's opened a lot of doors, and I'm in the very grassroots of it. So I just I'm in the very beginning, just like you. I'm 18 months in.
Well, you're doing good, good.
So we're both kind of doing the same thing, but it's opened so many doors. It's awakened me to so many different things.
Yeah.
That I just wasn't privy to. I've just because now and now with AI indexing, with the way that the algorithm is moving with ChatGPT, Grok, and Gemini, and all these platforms, Claude, and all these guys, they all get their data from online, and they all aggregate their data from.
That's a good point.
Whatever you say on these podcasts, everything I say on this podcast is going to be indexed. Every word I say is now going to be indexed by ChatGPT and will be quoted and will be, all these different things. So
it'll use it. That makes sense. Honestly, that makes sense.
It's a way for you to stand out in the future, and it's something that you just is a necessity in any vertical right now, just because the way that ChatGPT reasons. So in the world of AI, you couldn't have timed it better.
Yeah,
like your personal brand, like no one's even relating personal branding and the new world of AI like fully yet. And I'm kind of going on a mission talking about it, so it'll be much more.
I'm looking forward to hearing more about it for sure.
So real estate people love to say, "I don't have time for content." What do you say when someone hits you with that?
I say you're 100% right, because I don't want them to do it. It makes it easier for me. I just think it'd be a big mistake. I think real estate and content, or really any business, personal brand and doing content, that's the best way to get yourself out there.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, if you're driving down the road and you see billboards, I bet more people see stuff on their phone while driving or in the car than they do on billboards.
They do.
So it's best for personal brand. It's good for business, good for everything. So I would say they're making a big mistake if they don't take time. In fact, I would say it's very important to take 2 or 3 hours per day and just do personal branding. That's what I'm trying to, I'm saying all this, and I struggle with it, but I'm trying to be very disciplined now to just make sure I'm very deliberate to do it. I believe in the next year and a half, since I'm a year and a half in, a year and a half later, I hope to sit down with you and laugh about it and say, man, I remember sitting here doing that podcast, and I joined those other groups now, and it helped me, So I'd say it'd be a big mistake if they don't do personal branding.
I agree 100%. I mean, I think anyone in the real estate field, financial sectors, mortgage sector, insurance sector, have to start building their brand.
Yes.
Because if they don't, their competitor is going to eat their lunch.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great way for credibility. People see you. They see you as the person that's giving the knowledge. And then when they meet you, they trust you more, or they feel like they know you. I assume, because you've been doing very well by what I was looking online and having met. You're a very personable person. You're funny. I saw some of your very good stuff. But when they meet you, they act like they already know you. So they're just, if you say, hey, do this, do that, they're going to act on it quicker, which is good for them too.
Yeah. It's funny, what branding has done for me, because I don't think I can go somewhere in public now where someone's like, you're in my feed, or I see your videos, or I like your stuff, or, and they connect to you. Just because the more relatable you are, the more down to earth you are. Like, you got to do content that connects with people.
Absolutely.
And what I've identified is that we're both in pretty boring businesses.
Yes.
So when you go on social media, every platform has their own place. LinkedIn is a good place to nerd out. But like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, not YouTube, TikTok and Snapchat, those are places for you to be more authentic to you, to who you are.
That's right.
Whatever your hobbies are, whatever you find funny, whatever you think is like relatable to your life, or your dad life, or whatever.
It has to be more entertaining, for sure.
It has to be more entertaining. It has to be more relatable, because that's where the people go for release. People go for education and information on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or whatever. That's X. X. We've converted our X page to just hot takes, which is just small tidbits of. So I have so many verticals of content you probably saw to kind of embody my brand. And listen, for me, personal branding is a big work in progress. I just went through a full rebrand myself.
Wow.
So it's a big work in progress. Like imagery, content creation, like what sequences, cadences am I putting out? It's all just, I'm always thinking about it. Now take us behind the curtain. How are you planning? How are you recording? How are you editing and really distributing your content today?
So I have a really good friend. So I went on a Christian movie set as an extra, and I met this husband and wife team that they were directing the movie. And I guess I should say a little bit before this. Before I did that extra, was an extra on the show, I had hired some people to do some video for me. And even with me with the limited knowledge that I have, I could just tell they wasn't up to par. Just because someone knows how to film a wedding doesn't mean they know how to film for social media, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was already in transition period from that. Then I went to be an extra on this movie or whatever. And I met this husband and wife team, Austin and Haley Spicer. Been phenomenal. But not only did they know how to do movies and shorts and things like that, but they had actually done social media for other companies. And when I told them what I wanted to do, and they said, I think we can do that. So I said, well, just take your time, go research and tell me your thoughts first. And here's a few people to go look at the other, business guys online. And they went and looked and said, Shane, we can totally do that. And what we do not know or don't know at the moment, we know other people in the industry that do it. And they ended up having a pretty good Rolodex of people that were already, had pretty good large podcasts and stuff. So, we sat down, they filmed me a little bit, they gave me some scripts, and I kind of went off script because they give me a script doesn't mean it's the way I would believe. So I just took the ideas that they said and I read it and I said, okay, let me put it in my words, and I taught it in my way because I like to buy things a little different than what most other investors would do because I like to be creative. Instead of just giving one offer, we give 3 every time. We have reasons why we do it. And then what do we do 2 weeks later before closing or whatever? So I would just tweak it up. So then they would film it, they would edit it, I would review it and give notes. Then whenever it comes perfect where they all feel good about it and I feel good, and then we would try and post. And I guess they put it, I guess you can schedule when they come out. So they looked at the optimum time to schedule when something long form should go. Yeah, a lot of work.
Just now, put out a video?
Just to get out a few of the videos. Yeah, video. And then if we do a podcast like this, apparently you can break it up into multiple shorts, right? So they would choose pieces there. And now we've been delegating, talking to other people like that. I don't want to say their names, I guess, but like just other people that edit for some of the other podcasters and other influence, some of the bigger influence. I didn't realize how expensive it was until we did it. It's like $6,000 for like 30 shorts. I was like, man, that's ridiculous. But those got the best traction and they know when to hook and keep the audience's attention. Apparently you want on a short them to watch the whole thing and hopefully watch it again. And then on long form, you want them to at least watch 30 seconds of it, like to make sure they stand. Then you can kind of slow down the pace and let me nerd out a little bit.
There is a lot of science.
Oh, it's a lot. I was talking to your good guy here, Tim. He was teaching me some more stuff. So I was like, I'm always trying to learn.
We're coming out with something for, because we've converted our podcast into a media company as well for guests who need content. We meet a lot of people who are just like, I don't have content. So we're rolling a lot of cool stuff out to help our guests that really like launch, their content. I think you'll be interested. Tim will chat with you about it and he'll show you, what you can do to really optimize your content, what to say, what like pictures to add and how to really like, add the hooks, etc. There's a lot of science to it's actually more science in this than anything else because it evolves so quickly.
It does.
It evolves every single day. The algorithm is changing at rapid speed. And we really are in a place where, if you're not up to date with what the algorithm wants, it's like your content's null and void. It's not going to be served to the audience, etc. So staying up to date, staying relevant, and you optimizing all the time for what the algorithm wants is like imperative to gain adoption. So
no, that makes it. And from a scale 1 to 10 of saying that 10, I know everything about social media, I'm like a 4.
Yeah.
So I can.
I would say I'm a 2. I mean, it's like it's impossible. Like I'm going to conferences, I'm going to, all types of stuff just to kind of keep up with the times, and it's like, it's really a difficult, a difficult industry to really dominate. You
It
can't
is.
be the top podcaster, the top social media influencer because someone's better than you,
That's right.
like way better than you.
You know, and it's also pretty interesting you said, because it's like McDonald's cheeseburger is not the best burger, but it's the most bought burger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, same thing. It's like I just want to know enough, but I want to get the best people in Austin and Haley, and then some of the other guys that are using as editors and kind of giving us advice. And definitely like work tip, he knows this stuff. He was over here. I was like, man,
Yeah,
good
because
stuff.
we've been at it for
Yeah.
18 months, every day, all day,
Mhm.
talking to this guy. And Tim also, like my team, we have a lot of resources. So, you know, I'm talking to so many CEOs, so many founders, so many big creators, so many influencers. Every day I'm coming up with something, I'm collaborating directly. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We're coaching each other, and I'm studying this stuff every day so I can probably properly speak on it, because I speak all over the country talking to people about branding, because I'm you know, again, me and you are both in very boring sectors.
We are.
So branding to a lot of mortgage professionals and real estate professionals isn't that important. They just think they got a door knock, they got a, you know, cold call or whatever it is that they're doing. It's like, dude, welcome to 2025.
I know. And who would have thought? Okay, because I came back when I was younger. MySpace was the big thing. You know, you never would have
I
thought
had
that, like,
one of the founders of MySpace on my show.
oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I'd like to meet him. I just never thought that it would be so big that social media is just, you know what I mean? Like, when I still think I used to love MySpace. You know, it's just kind of crazy. But I will throw this out there since you're speaking around, like, on stages and stuff. So we did Atlanta Real Estate Conference, which is our just real estate based conference. We had about 400 people last year. Then we did a business conference, and now we're going to try and do a creator one, so we can have those three going throughout the year. And the reason why is because we think business people need to make money and preserve their wealth in real estate, but they also need to do personal branding and like influencer stuff. Then we think the real estate people, they need to treat their business more like a business, and they need to do social media. Then you got influencers who are good at making money and talented, but they don't know what to do with their money, and they don't treat what they're doing as a business. So we feel like there's a good little triple pillar, if you will. So I'd love to have you come out to our creator summit when we hold it.
Yeah, let me know
Yeah.
how we could do it. I'm going around speaking to boring mortgage real estate professionals all over the country, figuring out how I can help them build their business, and really like giving them insight into the importance of building their brand based on AI indexing. My conversation isn't just about branding. It's about how the algorithm is interpreting your personal brand.
Interesting. Yeah.
So it's a different outlook on it, because it's the future, because we now use AI for decision making.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. That's what you
That's
do.
right.
It's like, if you go, what plumber am I going to go with? Or what's the best place to shop? Or what's the best milk to buy? Or who's the best loan officer to work with? Who's going to give me the best interest rate?
So
Who's
AI.
the best realtor? Who provides the best financial? Like, AI is deciding everything for you.
Hence the reason we got to be more on personal branding to make sure it picks it up. No, that makes sense.
So you got to formulate your brand around what you do, and put out content. And podcasting is important, because every word you're saying right now, everything is going to be, I mean, ChatGPT is going to cite everything I just said.
That's amazing.
Even every stutter, every word, every every It's
well,
crazy.
I like Chick-fil-A with a large sweet tea. If you're at any of my conferences, bring it to me, you guys.
Now, what gear, tool, software actually helped you move faster? Like when you launch your business?
Like when I started doing the real estate stuff?
Real estate, what gear, tool, software are you using? Podcasting?
Okay. Yeah. So for
give the audience just some tidbit of
just my cell
nuggets.
phone, which of course right now, starting now, because I can start what I did when I started real estate is just driving by, seeing for sale by owner signs or Craigslist. But like right now, it's definitely ChatGPT, good AI stuff like that is always helpful with, like you said, I sit there and brainstorm. I do 10, 20-minute notes. You know, I'll do it and I'll be talking and it'll stop at 10 minutes. I'll wait for it to catch up, and then I'll keep doing it over and over again until I ask it a bunch of questions and brainstorm with it. So ChatGPT definitely. We use a lot of softwares when we're doing sourcing too. You know, we use Facebook Marketplace when we're finding deals. We are always constantly looking for landlords. So we're using, you know, social media, you know, Facebook. What else are we using? Use just internet tools, you mean?
I mean, this is more application. Like when I'm
Mhm.
studying somebody, I want to know what they're doing. What's your tech stack? What's your, sourcing
Mhm.
stack? What's your
Well, we use CoStar Craigslist because we're looking for commercial stuff there. Facebook, we also scrape the public records too. We're trying to find the current evictions going on or water shutoffs to see what's vacant or what, where some of those motivated sellers are. We are going to we do a lot of ads or inorganic ads. We're sourcing to, hey, look, if you want to sell your property, or hey, you're a landlord, it wasn't as easy as you thought, or why did you get into it? We're trying to build up more landlord community as well. um, and then of course we don't use Cleveland, we use Go High Level, if that's
yeah?
a software
That's
that's
your
been,
general CRM.
yeah, it's just a good CRM. Yeah, I'm not very tech. It's real good for all my. I know, like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like always a 3 or 4, but I have the best guys around me
That
that
are doing all
that
the
know
tech.
every bit. And I
Yeah.
can just at least talk the language to make sure we're all on the right page.
Now,
Hmm.
have you ever had someone call you or want to invest with you or do a deal with you based on your social media presence or what they saw online?
We have, yeah. Um, Coincidentally enough, it was, I think, my first larger podcast that I got on, and I was sitting there speaking, and then we had someone come to the meeting, like our little workshop, because we mentioned it on the podcast. Then becoming one of our private clients, which he is the best guy. I'll even shout out, his name is Jamie. So if he comes out, so he became a private client of mine, and we got him doing his first deal right now. And then we met another young boy, uh, Tanner. So I'll give him a shout out. And he was 20 years old. He's 21 right now. So in 1 year, we got him 52 doors. Very
How do you
proud
get so
about
many
that.
doors?
Yeah, we just showed him how we sourced, how we talked to landlords, and how we structured. And he did it all seller financing, so no banks. Now that he's in going past a year and a half, we're trying to help build his relationship with banks and lenders. Because we want to burr or cash or refinance or bundle the loans, or maybe wants to sell in 1031.
So he just went knocking on people, just took over
Oh,
their mortgages.
well, no, they
How did
didn't.
he
They
have
didn't.
how did he have the money to give the sellers
Yeah.
to buy out?
So some of those he paid down payments, but I have this method that we do. Like, let's just say a landlord. Let's just say you're a landlord, and then I call and I'm talking to you. And I know you're in the middle of an eviction, and me and I'm talking to you, figuring out your motivations, and you say, okay, I'll use a real one. My biggest portfolio I ever bought as far as single family was 92 homes. I was going to a Little Caesars Pizza to buy pizza for my grandma, which we call Big Mama, and my little niece and nephew. When I went through the drive-through, I saw for sale by owner sign kind of in the distance. Had a buddy with me. I said, hey, go get the number. He went and got the number. Called the guy, ended up being an older gentleman. He was about 81, 82 at the time. And he was just surprised that we had called him, because this is a city about 3 hours from me. My grandma lives about 3 hours from me. He said, what are you doing down here when you live up there in Atlanta? And I said, sir, we buy all over the state. So he was just very impressed. Super nice guy. For personal reasons, he had certain, like, I can't explain everything that he was going through, but he needed some cash. Because he had these 2 homes that he told me he had. He only said he had 2 at the time. 2 homes. He needed to sell them for a personal reason, and he needed the cash like right away. And I said, well, look, I'm very interested. I'm a young guy. I'm trying to catch up to you. I'm trying to get into real estate. It looks like you're trying to turn it more passive. Lo and behold, he owned 92 total. So I said, sir, how about this? How about I buy 2 of those homes traditionally? And let's let that count as the down payment, and you seller finance me the other 90. So I bought those 2 homes. I bought those traditionally. Those were $100,000 each. It's just kind of close to around 200,000. So I paid 40,000 down, did the whole 20% down, and got a loan for 160. Bought the homes, and then he seller financed me the other 90. So that's what we trying to repeat and do. The thing that I did though, since I came out 40, I'm always saying, how can I get my 40 back, still own the property, cash flow, and then 1031 later? Because if you sell or finance it, you lose the 1031 eligibility, right?
Yeah.
So I bundled up about 42, 43, or 44 doors. I forget how many it was. But it was some of the homes that I didn't necessarily want. They're like more work, like in
More
the
work
hood,
and less profit.
yeah, a little bit harder work. And honestly, this is 3 hours away. So I kept the ones that I wanted, and then those that needed a little bit more work, I bundled them up and did a master lease and sold an option. So I charged these investors that live down there. I said, look, you just pay me. They paid me $150,000 down. I master leased it to them for $12,500, and that paid for my mortgage, gave me some cash flow, and I got all my homes for free, and I got my 40 grand back. So I made 110. So that's kind of what I did. So now what this boy Tanner did, and what I want him to keep doing, is we find a property. If I negotiate with the seller, and let's just say you have a $400,000 home, you want 40 down, I'll get it under contract, and then I'll find a tenant buyer that can pay me 40 or more, since I've got to pay you 40. And let's just say I find someone give me 60. They give me 60. I then close with the attorney. In Georgia, it's attorney state. Is it escrow or title state here?
Yeah, it's a title state.
Title state. So I would then close out the title company once I know I have the tenant buyer in place. So now I've either made money or broke even. Then I can cash flow it, lease it with the option. And then when they cash me out, I can 1031 it. And during that time, I at least got the depreciation and have it as long term. So that's kind of been my goal. So always put out money, get it back, hold, put out the money, get it back, hold. And then as I accumulate, then I'll put that into more of a B plus A class asset with my own money, because now I need to put the money somewhere. I don't want to just leave it in my bank account. I think it's very volatile that way. And for asset protection, that's terrifying, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's what this young gentleman did. So he's just been rocking and rolling and doing it.
Amazing.
Very proud of him.
Taught a young man that.
Oh, he's killing it. Yeah.
Couple last questions for you. What's a personal goal that you have for yourself, a business goal that you have for the business, and a family goal that you have?
Well, I'm going to start with family goal. So I just got married in November.
Congrats.
You know, so same thing as I went to Grant and Elena. So I went not just to Grant, I went to Elena Cardone. Here in Costa Mesa, well, this is Irvine, right?
Yeah, Costa Mesa.
There's two mentors, is Glenn and Mindy Stearns.
Yep.
So I went and asked them and just see how they are as a husband and wife. And I went to as many wealthy people as I could and said, how does a wealthy couple make it to have a maximum business, maximum portfolio, and still be able to give time to each other and be a good family man? So they all gave me great advice. So in family, I want to make sure I give 100% present with my wife. I want to be able to have 5 children. I'm going to start with 1 though, but we have the idea of wanting to have 5.
I got 4 myself.
Oh, I want to walk into a home and it'd be like chaos a little. I don't know. That's just how I like the kids run. I don't know. That's what I imagine it to be. Is that how it is for your family? Yeah. And yeah, to me, that's a blessing. So that's with my wife. I want to give her everything. I want to have a ton of kids. I like to have 2 or 3 homes throughout the country. It doesn't have to be big ones, but just something where we're coming a little bit here in California, a little in Georgia, a little in Florida. In business, I want to get into M&A, and I'm getting into movie business. So I'd love to expand on the movie business. I believe the movie business is the only business that hires every type of business. So there's a great M&A play there. So I like that, and it has a real estate play, which I love. And then in real estate, I want to get out of single family and start doing more higher end stuff, all privately owned right now. And then I do have 2 little debt funds. And the only reason I started that was to retire my mom and dad in those funds. And then all the sellers that did seller financing, when I cashed them out, they didn't have nothing to do with it. So I put into my debt fund that's cross collateralized about multiple properties instead of just a first lien on one property. So it's just a way to make sure I have that. But now I may start ramping that up a little bit. But I'd like to grow to a couple $1 billion in assets under management in 10 to 20 years, hopefully as quick as possible. So I think that's real estate, business. I want to do more M&A and family. That's what I said about
we
my
hit the
wife.
personal. Anything personal for yourself?
Personal, I speak Spanish now. I want to learn more Korean because I'm half Korean. I'd like to be able to speak to my family in Korea. I want to get in better shape. Have more of an uncle body right now, so I want to be getting more maximum shape. Definitely want to do that, and I want to be a little bit more comfortable on stage speaking. I want to be a better speaker because I'm a Southern guy. I stutter. I'm introvert, so I don't like being up there, and I start, getting nervous. I want to be more comfortable and just work that muscle. So I want to be able to do that.
The only way to do that is just do more of it.
That's what they say.
That you got to just do more of it. I would be terrified speaking on stages before. Now it's like I just go up there and I'm just me.
Oh,
Me everywhere I go. Me on this podcast. I'm me on social media. I'm me on stage. It's just me.
well, that's great.
Everywhere
And
you
I have
go.
a lot to learn from you. You and then I know David Meltzer. I call him Uncle David. So I have a lot to learn from you
He's
guys.
also my mentor. I wish he was here today. He would have done your show today here.
Yeah. We did one. Sometime in May, I think it was a couple
Yeah.
weeks
Oh, then you've done it.
in May. Yeah.
One last question.
Yes.
When you're in front of the pearly gates, what do you think God's going to tell you?
You know, that he doesn't see anything but his son. That's what I would hope he'd say. Because if he saw me, I would be straight to hell. That's what I think. So I hope he sees through me, sees his son, lets me in, and he because I don't think there's anything that I can do to win myself to heaven, you know. But I have I grew up in the church since I was 4 years old. And I'd done mission trips since 19. I was actually a pretty full-time missionary from 19 to 28, but I got married. Not married. I got born again though when I was 28. So I know what it feels like to be religious. And then I know what it is like to have the actual thing, not just a counterfeit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And in that moment when I was 28, I realized no matter how kind I looked or how people looked at me or how much I stood in church and all the people that I fed and people that I helped, I still saw it. I really saw that like wretched man that I am. You know what I mean? Like I've always heard that in the church prior, but I didn't get it until I really experienced how wretched of a man that I am. And I got saved that day. So I hope when I stand before the pearly gates, he doesn't see me at all. He just sees his son. That's what I hope.
I hope that for you too. God bless.
How about you?
You know, I realize how wretched I am all the time, right?
Mhm.
We all do, because that's just part of being saved. And,
Mhm.
you know, for me, when I'm in front of the pearly gates, all I want God is like, I know you tried and I know you're a screw up and I know you keep trying and I know you get back up. But one thing he knows is that I'm a fighter and I keep getting that back up and I'm going to keep fighting and I'm going to keep just doing his work. I exist for one person, for
Mhm.
one reason, just here as a vessel to do God's work. And he knows that.
I love that.
As long as he knows that, because that's my whole purpose in my life.
Absolutely. No, I
Just
love
to
that.
serve, do God's work. Now, do I screw up? Every day.
Oh yeah.
Every day.
We all fall short, don't
You
we?
know, but he knows I'm here to do his work.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
like I'm just here, and he's given me a lot of power in society to, you know, push a message, and I do that, with no shame, and I do that even though a lot of people hate on me for it, and it is what it is. But I'm pushing the message.
No, well, I love that. Bless you on that.
If people want to connect with you, how do they find you?
All right, so I'm not on as many as Joe here, but I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and X at Shane Seo. So at ShaneSeo. We'd love to connect with you guys.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Mr. Shane Seo, he is dominating. Make sure to connect with him. He will make you a real estate millionaire. Let's go.
Let's do it. Whew.